What's going on, Javier Lobby? It's your boy Javier with the Javier Show. Make sure you say it twice. All right, so we got this song by Tom Macdonald called Castles. I don't know anything about it. Don't know what it's about. Don't know when he wrote it. Don't know anything. So I'm just hoping that I like this song. I hope y'all like it as well. And for those of you who recommend it, thank y'all so much. Without further ado, let's get into it.
1 in a million to one villain. Too hot to be in the kitchen. I'll end up melting the ceiling.
All right, so before we get into this, I just want to thank all of y'all for tuning into the Javier Lobby, and for all of y'all who took the time to subscribe, thank you so much. I love the support. I love the comments, and we've been having great conversations. I just want to appreciate all of y'all. Now, before I get into this video, I just want to make one point. One of my subscribers made some book bags, and we've been trying to sell them, and hopefully y'all will buy them. But this is what the book bag looks like, and I want to support him because he took the time to make this is the Javier Show book bag, and it actually says peace and glory at the top, and the first 20 got a signature. So if the first 20 hasn't been sold, please go get one, and you can get my signature. And it's the first time I ever put my signature on anything, so really go check it out. Now let's get into Tom Macdonald Castles. See what it's all about. Let's get it.
I see you at the liquor store, leaving with the cheapest can of beer on the shelf. You ain't living on the street, but you barely making rent, and I relate because I'm struggling myself.
Man, this is it. Y'all got me one of these deep ones right here. Now, Tom Macdonald is being very observant here. He's talking about a guy leaving a liquor store and, him being through the struggle. He understands, he relates to it. And this is one of those things that really touches your heart, because you know that deep down inside that if you wasn't somebody who grew up in luxury, or your father didn't own a yacht or a multi-million dollars, even people that grow up in wealth, they go through struggles, and we all have to resonate with that and try to be human and compassionate. And Tom Macdonald's touching on that. He's starting off with it.
I see you at the liquor store, leaving with the cheapest can of beer on the shelf. You ain't living on the street, but you barely making rent, and I relate because I'm struggling myself.
Yeah.
I see you smile at the clerk when you fumble through your purse. I just wish I had a little more to help.
Nice. Y'all ever been somewhere where you see somebody and it seems like they're going through a hard time? And, there are people out there who would be going through the worst things in life and still take a time to smile and don't really want to show people that they're going through it. And if you're very observant, you can see that some people are really going through it. You can tell by the type of shoes they're wearing. You can tell by, how they're walking. They might have their head down, or just like he said, buying the cheapest beer on the shelf. And it's like you want to reach out and help those people, and sometimes you really can't because you're going through a struggle yourself, or there's other people in your life that's going through a struggle. So, man, be on the lookout for that. That's deep.
Struggling myself. I see you smile at the clerk when you fumble through your purse. I just wish I had a little more to help. I imagine where you're living, how you feeling, what you love, and who you'll be if you can make it out your hell. I see.
Yeah. I think we imagine ourselves more than anybody. Like, what would I be like if I just had the amount of resources that I could? What would I be like if things went my way when I was following my dream here and things didn't work out? Just imagine if everything lined up. Where would I be if my mom and my father was together and they stayed together, or, that we didn't grow up in poverty? I ask myself questions like that all the time. And I'm pretty sure many of y'all have your own different journeys and questions that y'all ask. And I think Tom is doing a good job at pointing out, how we think as people.
A little more to help. I imagine where you're living, how you feeling, what you love, and who you'll be if you can make it out your hell. I see you at the bus stop, looking at the sidewalk, smoking half a cigarette, waiting for a ride. Kind of limp when you walk and look away. When you talk, you're ashamed. I can see it in your eyes.
Man, listen, I don't know where the castle's coming at this, but I'm from the South. And I know that there are people like on the West Coast and even up north and things of that sort, East Coast, that, we see the homeless people. We see the people living in poverty. We see the people catching the bus. Some of us got cars. Some of us got 2 cars. Some of us got cell phones. Some of us got flat screen TVs. Some of us got those things. Some of us don't. And many of us used to be in this place. Many of us used to be catching the bus trying to get to school or trying to get to work that paid little to nothing just so you can make it. Many of us been in this circumstance and situation. And there are people who will get past these things and they'll just pass on by these people. And they'll never stop to help them, never give them a cheeseburger, never give them $1, never really do anything to help these type of people who probably at where you was or could be one day. Deep.
Waiting for a ride. Kind of limp when you walk and look away. When you talk, you're ashamed. I can see it in your eyes. Probably got a NASCAR shirt and a car that you love, but you're here because you're too afraid to drive. It's been almost 10 years since the day that you crashed. Can't forget about the little boy's life.
Oh man, listen. Oh, those are the type of mistakes that you wish that you never make. One of those things you cannot take back. One of those things that you did and it just affects the rest of your life, something that you have to live with. I made a decision when I was 15 that ended up with me spending the next 5 years locked away and getting out as a grown man. Didn't really know what to do with myself as I got out. I had all these dreams and all these hopes and I wasn't able to accomplish, and just trying to figure out like, yo, if I could just go back and change that one thing you just cannot take back. If you would have knew better, if you were smarter, if you was aligned with the right people, if you would have listened to the right person. So, that's real. That's real, y'all. That's real.
Too afraid to drive. It's been almost 10 years since the day that you crashed. Can't forget about the little boy's life. Everybody's got a story. If you look a little closer, you can see it in the wrinkles in their face. They can hide it in the silence, they can bury it and fight it, but it comes out when the hair is turning gray.
Oh man, listen. I can relate to this. I went through a phase at one time where I was really going through something heavy and I started doing some meditation. I don't know how many of y'all are into meditation, but the moment I started meditating, I started paying attention to the things that I never paid attention to before. I started looking at the cracks in the sidewalk and realizing that everything had a story. I mean, you would look down at the cracks in the sidewalk and you realize that how many people did it take to get that concrete exactly where it was? Who laid that concrete? Where did they get the concrete from? Where did it travel from? What company owned it? How many people hands in that? And how many different stories it took just for them to lay that concrete right then and there? I was so focused on the smallest details that I started understanding that all the millions and millions of stories that had to interact just to make something so simple as the sidewalk. So, when you start to pay attention to people and you see the gray hairs might be coming in early or the bags under their eyes, they're not getting enough sleep. And you start looking at these things, you start to realize the struggle is real. It's really real. And man, the insight you can get from just paying attention to people, it really changes you as a person. I think that Tom may have experienced this at some point.
Wrinkles in their face. They can hide it in the silence, they can bury it and fight it, but it comes out when the hair is turning gray. You can feel it if you touch them, you can tell that they are troubled, you can hear the story running through their veins. We all travel different roads and we put on different clothes. Underneath it all, we're really all the same.
Yeah, there goes the bring it together part. That's what Tom is all about. Tom is about looking at all the differences and showing you how we're the same. And that's what it means to be insightful. He's an abstract thinker. And I think that's why I understand Tom so much, is because I'm an abstract thinker. I can see things that most people probably wouldn't see relate and bring those two things together in a way that you probably wouldn't even imagine at first. And then it makes sense. And these pieces fit. And I think that's what he's good at. He's good at showing the struggle, but also weaving in triumph. And so many people need that today. So many people need somebody to just make sense of their struggle and to let them know it's okay. It's okay, because we're coming. We're going to rise above. Today you might be down and out, but tomorrow could be your best day. You don't know. And keep a positive mindset, and do that for others.
We've all got problems and we all feel alone. We've all been haunted by the secrets we hold. We could fill our coffins with...
All right. I'm not a fan of the hook. I mean, I like the words. I like the message, but I'm not a fan of the sound of the hook. I'm sorry.
Been haunted by the secrets we hold. We could fill our coffins with the rocks they have thrown. Or we could build our castles with the sticks and the stones.
Okay, so I get it. We can build our castles with the sticks and the stones. So, you got to build what you have. You have to take what it is that you have available to you and make the most out of it. And I think that's a beautiful message to take away from this song so far, is that whatever you're going through, wherever you've been, whatever mistakes you've made, what is it that you have in front of you right now? And let's start doing the work now to build that castle. Let's just take from whatever we got. You don't have to wait till you got $1 million. You don't have to wait till you got $500,000 in retirement. You don't have to wait to start building your castle. Do it with what you have now, the people around you, the ones that love you and care about you, the resources that you have, and that pain and suffering. Use all of that to start building your castle now.
We've all got problems and we all feel alone. We've all been haunted by the secrets we hold.
I love how he's showing the different diversity of people from different walks of life. I'm not necessarily focused on race or anything, but, different people. And he's letting you know that we all look different. We all sound different. We talk different, walk different. We feel different. But we laugh sometimes, we cry sometimes, we enjoy the moment sometimes, and sometimes we're not in the best mood, and that's okay. But like, yo, let's build this castle. I'm gonna build a castle with y'all. I'm down for that. We can all build our own castles until we make a really big castle out of the castles we built. Let's do that.
We can fill our coffins with the rocks they have thrown, or we can build our castles with the sticks and the stones. I see you sitting on the front porch playing with a radio, looking to the sky. Probably living in that house all alone these days, trying to find a better way to pass time. Got a wheelchair ramp leading up to the door. I can see that you walk just fine. Probably hate it because it isn't getting used anymore, and you only ever build it for your wife.
Oh man. Oh, listen, boy. Nah, he just did something here that we gotta pay attention to. And for those of you who don't know, I pay attention to the visuals, I pay attention to the music, and I pay attention to the words and the bars, right? So what he did right here is like, yo, it's a ramp, and I see that ramp, and I see you walk up it all the time, but we don't know that that ramp used to be for your wife, and she's no longer here with us anymore. And like that constant reminder, you ever have something in your life that even though, you know, it was something of positivity at one point, something to help you get by, something that was a necessity that you no longer need anymore, but it's still there, and you keep it around because it reminds you of something special, and it can also be a source of your pain. And like I have things in my life like that. I'm a minimalist at heart. I try to get rid of things that I can't, like, that don't no longer serves a purpose, but there are still things that I hold on to that reminds me of things that I need to keep fueling and keep pushing me forward. And it can bring me pain, but sometimes that pain can be your main motivation. And I think that's what I drew from that.
Everywhere that I walk, see you on the sidewalk, begging for a little loose change for some dough. Probably got a mama and a papa spending everything they make, trying to clean you up enough to take you home.
Man. Now, I know some people personally who just suffer from drug addiction, who's going through things like that. And when I was younger, I was one of those people that gravitated towards people who suffer from alcohol abuse. And there was this guy named Puff in our neighborhood. He used to try to scam the kids and, you know, take advantage of us and things of that sort. But I still loved him. I still cared about him because I knew he had a problem. He had an addiction, and he had to fuel that addiction. But he was really the nicest guy. But somehow he became a victim to, you know, his own biology, his own need to have that drink. And I gravitated towards him. I wanted to take care of him. He ended up passing away in his house by himself alone. And years later, I found another guy who had suffered from the same problem, and he's no longer with us, but I used to give him money and when I could and bring him food and stuff like that. And it's like some of these people didn't have any family. Now, there are people who suffer from addiction who have family, who spend everything they can to try to save that person because they love that person. And it can be a struggle because sometimes those people who suffer from addiction, they hurt the people that's closest to them the most. So it takes a lot of compassion and patience and love to deal with that type of stuff. And man, I love the message here. I really do.
Used to have a good job, used to get good grades, used to have big dreams, and he lost hope. When your girlfriend died, giving birth to your son, you're the father that'll probably never know.
Man, Tom is touching on a lot of stuff here. A lot of stuff. A lot of just situations that so many people deal with that don't make the news, that not really talked about. People will go through things and don't even tell you. You'll be working with somebody and you have no idea what kind of struggle they've been through. Some people just close it off and deal with it on their own. He's noticing all of this.
When your girlfriend died, giving birth to your son, you're the father that'll probably never know. Everybody has a tale that they're too afraid to tell. You can see it in the cracks in their hands. They can cover it with smiles if you walk a couple miles in their shoes, and you'll know where they stand. Everyone who really lived had to climb out of a ditch they were in before they found the right path. If you want to know the truth about what we've been going through, then try to put your phone away so you can ask.
Try to put your phone away so you can ask. Man, I was walking in the store the other day with me and my wife, and we were both in our phones. And I'm very good at putting my phone down so that I can have a conversation and focus on things. And she does as well. But even with somebody who's good at it, these phones have captivated us, and it has caused us to just overlook so much. And life is right there in front of you. Like, so much happening. The birds are flying. The ants are moving. It's just everything is so beautiful right in front of you, and we don't even notice it. You got to put down the phone because that person who might need you, you might be ignoring.
All got problems and we all feel alone. We've all been haunted by the secrets we hold. We could fill our coffins with the rocks they have thrown.
I take it back. I like this hook. It's not my best hook, but it's growing on me. It's really growing on me, and it goes with the song. It's really nice.
Oh, we could build our castles with the sticks and the stones. We've all got problems and we all feel alone. We've all been haunted by the secrets we hold.
We all been haunted by the secrets we hold. Listen, I guarantee you, one of y'all watching right now, that you holding something on, you holding on to something that you can't tell people or that you don't want to talk about. I guarantee you somebody's watching that's feeling that right here, right now. And it's a burden. It's a burden because I know deep down inside you want to tell somebody, you want to have that conversation with somebody. It could be the person that you could hurt if you told that secret to, but it haunts us. It really, really haunts us. And there's been times where I held secrets and I was finally able to get the secret out. And it wasn't even as bad as I thought it was once it got out. But at the same time, I could have hurt somebody or I did hurt somebody and we had to deal with that. But when we got all of that pain out of us, we can move forward in life. And no matter what the secret is, you got to find a way to get it out because it's haunting you.
We could fill our coffins with the rocks they have thrown, or we could build our castles with the sticks and the stones. We are the neighbors that you'll never meet.
We are the neighbors that you'll never meet. Oh, man. Tom Macdonald, boy. It's funny how Tom Macdonald can take some of the same messages and put it in a different way that really actually changed the way the message is. But at the core, it's still about community. It's still about coming together. But he'll say it in a different way that will allow you to extract a whole new perception on the issue. And that's what I feel like this song is doing.
We are the neighbors that you'll never meet. We are the strangers walking down your street.
Yes, we are. We are. Man, I wonder one day if I'm going to walk past somebody that I never met before that might see me on a YouTube channel and say, oh, I know you. If I would have never put myself out there, how many people would have never known who I was or would have ever talked to me or paid me any attention? You got to think that, or the other way around. Maybe one day I'll be walking down the street and I'll see one of y'all from the comment section and we'll have a conversation and it'll be awesome. It'll be great. And that would be beautiful. But we're all those people, you know how many people you see that you'll never see again? How many people that you saw multiple times and didn't even realize it? We are all these people, y'all.
We are a million faces in the crowd. We are the ones the system's tearing down. We are the people working to survive.
We. If Tom Macdonald was good at one thing, he never ever loses sight of the community. He never tries to isolate himself as being bigger or better than everybody else. He never does that. He resonates with the little guy, the guy in the middle, the guy at the top. He has a way of showing that we all at the end of the day are just trying to survive. And we're all trying to be the best us we can be. Some people get misguided along the way and they become the angry people online. They become the racist. They become the top executive that's taking advantage of his workers. They become those people because they become self-absorbed or misguided, or they believe that that's the world that they have to live in, or the persona that they need to take on in order to survive. The best way to change that narrative is to show those same people that that's not the case, and you have more in common with me than you think. And the moment they can see that, the better off we'll all be.
Tearing down. We are the people working to survive. We are more than just our 9 to 5s.
We are more than just our 9 to 5. Yes, we are. The 9 to 5 is just a necessity for a lot of people. Man, get to know people. Just really get to talk to them, man. I fall victim to that as well, man. There are people that I get angry and upset with, and I don't really know what they're going through in their life because they said something I totally disagree with, or I feel like they're a part of a problem. Then I have to stop and ask myself, okay, why is this person this way? And can I have a conversation with them? Can we learn something from each other? And it may not even get to that point, but guess what you're doing for yourself? You're allowing yourself to heal. You're allowing yourself not to be angry and upset. And you're allowing yourself to be a better person. That way you're not taking out that frustration on people who don't deserve it. So either way you win regardless, whether you touch another person and y'all grow together or if you just grow within yourself.
We are the shopping malls and streetcars. We are one. It's time to tell them just who we are. We've all got problems and we all feel alone. We've all been haunted by the secrets we hold. We could fill our coffins with the rocks they have thrown. Oh,
we can fill our coffins with the rocks they've thrown. Now, I know they said that a couple times, but I caught it this time so I can touch on it. But yeah, we could do that. We could literally, all the rocks that they've thrown at us, we can put it in our coffins. We can do that. We can bury that crap. We can bury it. Or we can be in the casket with the rocks and let them throw it at us and bury ourselves. Or we can just grab all the negativity and all the things around us and use it for good. Use it for good. That's why I am on the side. Some of y'all get an amen on that one.
We could build our castles with the sticks and the stones. We've all got problems and we all feel alone. We've all been haunted by the secrets we hold. We could fill our...
I love how the visuals just show different people doing different things. I'm assuming this might be New York City or something. I'm not sure, but there's just so many people doing different things, walking down the street, working a construction job, delivering packages. And it's just like, what are all the stories that cross paths every single day, all day, and no one even knows it? I remember, like, if you ever get road rage, you realize that you start to not see people as people in those cars. You just start to see cars. It's like our brains are good at filtering out unnecessary information so that we can best survive. And what we do in the meantime is we miss so many details. So that's a human flaw that we have to correct for. And it can be done through conditioning. Me personally, I think meditation is good. It really helps. For you, it might be prayer. It might be something else. But you got to find that thing which helps you bring clarity and allow life not to pass you by.
Our coffins with the rocks they have thrown. Oh, we could build our castles with the sticks and the stones. We've all got problems and we all feel alone.
Yeah.
We've all been haunted by the secrets we hold. We could fill our coffins with the rocks they have thrown. Oh, we could build our castles with the sticks and the stones.
All right, people, that is the song there. Now, I implore all of you to take Tom Macdonald's advice on this one and just let's build castles. Let's build castles. I'm down to build a castle. If y'all down to build a castle, let's do it together. And I take away that message. Hopefully that I was able to break down that song as best as I could, that y'all could understand it and gain something positive from it and grow as a person. Now, to rate the song, okay. When it comes to the beat, I'm going to give the beat itself a 6 out of 10. The beat was not horrible. It wasn't the greatest. It's one in that middle level where it's like the beat is not that important. The message here is always that one. And I noticed that Tom Macdonald, the message takes the front seat. And, you know, if he gets a good beat, even better. When it comes to the visuals, I give the visuals an 8 out of 10. I think the visuals were great. It really, really hammered home the message of the song. It gave you a lot to work with when it came to what he's trying to portray and get across and give that vibe. And it touches you in your heart and you can see it and you start to resonate with the people in the actual visuals. So I'm giving that an 8 out of 10. And when it comes to the message, I'm giving the message a 10 out of 10. I keep giving this man 10 out of 10s here and there. But it's great. I love it. I love it. I love it. The message is great. The flow is not as tight as Tom Macdonald can flow. I know he can do better, but this song was about talking about real stuff that people can resonate with. So I'm giving that what I gave it. So with that being said, thank y'all so much for listening and watching. I hope all of y'all have a great day, a great weekend, a great week. It doesn't matter. Peace and glory, everybody. If you're watching this, be peaceful and be great. Until next time, y'all, I'm out.
1 in a million to one villain. Too hot to be in the kitchen, out in the melting the ceiling.